Good day, guys. You're welcome to part three of our bloggers training or our training on how to build websites and blog using WordPress. Today, in this conversation, we're going to talk about the mindset of a successful blogger. Yeah, the mindset of a successful blogger because blogging comes with its own mindset. It's not something you just barge into and um, run it roughshod with any way you like or how you like it. There's a specific set of rules and regulations, or there's a specific mindset that you need to develop as a blogger to become successful. Mainly, this has to do with if you are building your own blog, but also it also applies because when you're building blogs for other people, or when you're building websites for other people, for companies, for businesses, and stuffs like that, you still need to have this blogger's mindset because you run into problems as well. So, first on my list is the question: why do you want to become a blogger? Now, a lot of times, especially living in an era where people go to social media, talk a lot of BS, and expect to get likes and follows and stuffs like that. And based on the algorithm of most social media, it's when more people interact with your content, they generate more traffic to you. Now, there's a tendency for a lot of people to start talking nonsense. A lot of people to come out to social media and display their immaturity and all whatnot. But the question I need to ask you, or the question you need to ask yourself is, why do you want to become a blogger? Do you want to be one of those people who just go to social media or who just go online and start dishing out absolute nonsense? Or are you one of those people who have a message for the world? Now, for me, I say that blogging is more of a tool. So, as a blogger, your blogging platform is a tool for you to reach out to the world with the message you have from your wealth of understanding, wealth of abundance, wealth of information, wealth of knowledge. You are giving out to the world. So, you're not just coming to social media to talk about things. You're coming there because you have something within you that your blog serves as a platform for you to reach out to people. It's like, I'll give you a few illustrations. When you're an activist, you can belong to a group, a society, or something of such nature. Now, when you go for your normal meetings, or when you go for your maybe your regular conversations or discussions or stuffs like that, you can talk about your activism, or you can gather an audience and talk to them, just like politicians do prior to election. Now, the platform is a means to an end. So also it is with blogging. Your platform, your blog, is just a means to the end. The end is your message. So this means that you shouldn't just jump up and become a blogger. You have to look within you, find out that thing that makes you exceptionally good, that thing you do with great passion, talent, or love, or that thing that gives you fulfillment. It should also be something that you can do extensive research on, not just research, extensive research. Because as a blogger, you are giving out information, and every information you give out there matters a lot. It goes a long way in restructuring or destroying people's lives. So you have to do extensive research for what you are blogging about, the content you're releasing to the public. Now this brings me to a topic that a lot of people have handled wrongly, or a lot of people are handling wrongly. Now, a lot of people advise young bloggers, beginner bloggers, to go to a niche that is selling. Now, but I think that that is a wrong approach. Now, why I think so is that when you are when you are doing something that is not in sync with your inner calling, because everybody has a calling. When you do something with your that's not in line with your inner calling, chances are you will not be as successful as you ought to be. For you to be super successful, you have to do that thing which you are called to do by your aspiration, by your knowledge, by your preparedness, and by your leadership disposition. When you do something that you are called to do from your inside, something that syncs with what is inside of you, something that gives you joy, when you do that thing, you will have the motivation, the strength, the inspiration to keep moving, even when the road gets tough. But when you jump into a niche because they say it is very lucrative or you can generate a lot of money from it, chances are you will never be so successful. You will be struggling at a point because every profession, every endeavor, everything that is done in this life has some level of challenge. And when the challenge comes, because what you are doing is not in sync with what is inside of you, chances are you will quit. There's a high chance you will quit. This is why a lot of people quit. And when they quit, they keep quitting, they quit the next one, they quit the next one, and they quit the next one simply because they have not found their footing in themselves. So create a niche out of who you are. Let's take, for instance, if you love leadership, you can talk about leadership. If you seek a better society through people creating gardens, you can talk about gardens. If you're a good cook, you know how to cook, or you like cooking, or you love cooking. You may not be a good cook, but because you love cooking, that your love can empower you to do extensive research on cooking, then you can blog about cooking. So, blogging is an extension of yourself. Now, the truth is, every niche can be super successful. It is dependent on you, your cash flow, and your willingness to put in the effort. Now, I'll give you a little example. Before the days of Facebook, there were a lot of social medias, a lot of forums. You had forums for specific professions, and you had social medias like High Five and a lot more. Now, some of these social medias were charging for membership, some were not charging. But Facebook came along and Facebook collapsed every social media because Facebook gave people everything that other social media gives to them for free. Now, the idea of Facebook giving what it gave is a product of good thinking. Now, prior to Facebook, somebody could have said, no, you cannot do a general niche blog. You have to be specific to an area for you to be successful. But Facebook is super successful. So the point I'm trying to make is that it is not about your niche. It's about the effort you put in, and it's about how ready you are to take the steps that is needed to create the result you're seeking. Yes, I know Facebook spent a lot of billions to get to where it is now. But even without the billions, assuming Facebook did not have the billions to spend, they would have been a smaller site. Maybe a few 100,000 users. Like you have other websites, you have Medium, you have Substack, you have Tumblr, and you have Pinterest. These are all not niche-oriented microblogging platforms. So, get the point. The point is this. It is you who creates the success. because, like the Chinese say, it is man that makes the way great, not the way making man great. So don't go and squeeze yourself into a niche simply because a lot of people have said this niche is lucrative. Now, because we've talked about niche, I want to remind us of something. Do not get into blogging because you want to make so much money. Now, money is something that comes as an after effect. Let the priority be to create enriching content so that when your audience reads or sees your content, they are enriched in one way or another. This is very crucial to your success as a blogger. Now, one you may say, how do I generate so much traffic with if I don't have so much content? I've seen blogs that had less than 300 written articles that generated hundreds of thousands of audience or readers. In fact, on my blog beatmagazine.com, there's someone who posted something, I think that was in 2023 or thereabouts. Just one post. That post generated over 600,000 views in less than 3 months. That post is still there today. That post has over 5,000 comments. It was just one post. There was a time I saw a video, a guy was talking about traffic and post on your blog. He mentioned a blog that had about 50 posts. But that blog generates over 300, 400,000 traffic every week from those posts. So it has to do with you as a person. It's not about your content. Whatever topic you want to post on it and work hard towards making it go to the farthest point of the earth. For your post to spread faster or better, it's advisable to use the social media. If you have the time, you can use all the social media. But for sanity's sake, I will advise you use max of 1 or 2 social media. 1 or 2 social medias to be your primary social media. Then you can have presence in other social medias. Let's take for instance what I used to do on my blog. I had this auto post. So every post I posted went straight to Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and there was one other social media it used to go to. Tumblr, yes, Tumblr. But when Twitter changed to X and all that, there was a lot of restructuring. So that auto posting was now paid for. And I didn't have the finances to pay for auto post because I'm not really a Twitter person. In fact, as a matter of fact, I don't go to Twitter. It was only because I was a blogger I started going to Twitter. So up till today, I don't really go to Twitter and I rarely go there. In fact, since my auto posting was cut off from Twitter, I rarely go there. But I used to do Facebook until Facebook did something that actually sparked my head. So I cut off Facebook. So right now, I'm not actually using any social media. I just have some presence in a few of them. Sometimes I post to LinkedIn. Yes, I think my post is auto posted to LinkedIn as well. But sometimes I go there and share content. So, but start with one. Let that one be where you could find your audience more. You could do a research on the various social medias and find out their demography and stuffs like that and the nature of their users. But don't overstretch it. Don't overstretch it by trying to do everything to depend on the social media. Because the social media doesn't depend on you and they don't give a hoot about you. What they're interested in is get your content and manage it the way they want. So choose a social media. You could have one as your primary social media. Then you can have presence in the others. Your presence in the others means that maybe you post from time to time on those platforms. Maybe 10% of your post goes to those platforms as well. But one particular platform takes all your posts. Now, define your niche from who you are and post your content. Then make your content enriching. If it is entertainment, very fine. If it's educational, if it's persuasive, or if it's a conversion thing, like a marketer or something, you want to market items and you want people to take action based on your post, fine. Now, I would also love to mention something here. A lot of times, some people think you cannot do copy and paste, or that copy and paste is not an ideal form of blogging. But I want to let you know that you can do copy and paste. The only thing that is required of you is that if you do copy and paste, indicate the origin site. Then use your creativity to add some content to what you have copied. When you add this content, you make it more interesting. So at the end of the day, if you're copying content from 5 websites, you adjust it in a form and you put those 5 websites below your content for further reading. Now, this gives you credibility because your own original idea is also in the content you are posting. So there's nothing wrong with copy and paste as long as you indicate where it came from. Not to just go copy something, paste it on your blog, and you walk away. If you do that, it actually even hurts your search engine ranking. But also, though this may go to the extreme, I like you to remove search engine mechanism from your blog. Why? Because search engines from time to time are always updating their algorithm and doing so much changes that even if today you rank on the page 1 of a search engine, there's no assurance that in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, you will rank number 1. And I've seen a lot of bloggers wear themselves out trying to readjust and readjust their posts, all just to rank in the first page of search engines. And at the end of the day, it's like they are carrying an elephant on their neck. And they still do not make page 1. So just set up your blog, do your stuff, and let the search engine discover you and rank you according to how your contents are. With time, if your content contains a good amount of information or is educative enough, the search engine will automatically push your stuff to the first page. But remember, like I said, don't try to overflog it. Don't try to kill yourself. Don't try to wear yourself out trying to become, trying to land on page 1 of search engines. Okay? So, develop your mindset as a blogger, knowing that you blog out of the abundance of what you are or who you are. Next on my item here is branding. Now, when we talk about branding or your brand name, this is very important so you don't run into some technical issues. Now, I'll tell us a little story. When I first wanted to create my first blog, I had in mind to create a blog that is both educational and entertaining. So, in my head, I came across the word infotainment. I said, yes, this is what I actually wanted. So, initially, I wanted to call my blog Beat Magazine. So, when I was searching for a domain name, I now searched for Binfotainment. That's BHIN. Sorry, BH then infotainment, which is binfotainment.com. I was using this for a while, Then somehow it occurred to me that this name sounds awkward. It sounds, how many people know what is infotainment in my circle? I'm talking of the physical environment I am in. How many people know what's infotainment? Now, secondly, your site should be in such a form that when you give somebody the name, he or she should easily go to whatever browser and type that name. Now, when you tell somebody infotainment, the first thing the person does is BIN. There's no H. So I had a problem on my neck. That problem was the site name was too long and it's not something you can easily relate with. So I had to change my domain. I had to change the domain name. I rested with Beat Magazine. So when you're talking about your branding, let your domain name reflect something within what you are doing. But keep it short, keep it simple. Keep it simple so if you give your domain name to anybody, they can easily sort it out, they can easily search it out. Okay? Keep it simple, keep it straightforward, and keep it going. Another thing I want to talk about is pairing knowledge, motivation with discipline. Now, you remember I said your blog is an output of you, it's an extension of you, it's something you are doing from who you are. So, a blog is a combination of the knowledge you have, your motivation for excellence, paired with discipline. Discipline because, okay, now let me start with knowledge. Yes, you have a knowledge. You have a knowledge about life, about anything. It could be a specialized knowledge, it could be a general knowledge, but you have knowledge. Now, if you sit back and go through your life, reflect on your yesteryears, you will find a lot of nuggets of wisdom or knowledge. You will reshape and restructure a lot of experience you've had in the past, and you'll begin to understand the lessons that are contained within those experiences. Now, this gives you knowledge, a knowledge you can apply to your blog. I'm saying this because sometimes you may think we don't have the required qualification to start a blog or to give the world or to talk to the world from the wealth of our knowledge. So, what I want you to understand is that you have the knowledge because life is a school with unending lessons where every experience and everybody you meet is a teacher and helps to mold your character in one way or another, or it helps to define whom you will ultimately become. So look at your life, the past 10, 15, 20, 30 years. You've gained some experience, you've gained some knowledge, and that knowledge is what will form the foundation, the bedrock of your blogging. Now, pair it with your motivation for success. What I say motivation for success or motivation for excellence, drive for excellence is that yes, we all seek to be excellent in the things we do. We all seek to do our stuff exceptionally fine. Now you need to build that motivation for blogging because blogging is something that takes time. It's not something you start today and in the next 1 week you're having millions of followers or millions of readers on your blog. No, it takes time. So your motivation needs to be maintained. It has to be a long-term thing. You need to understand that you have to keep yourself. There's something I say that perpetual optimism is a force multiplier. You have to be perpetually optimistic, knowing that tomorrow will get better. Because even when you start blogging, sometimes your traffic can surge and collapse. Today you can have 10,000 views on your page, on your pages. Tomorrow you can have 300. Next week you can have 150,000. And the upper week you can have 50 for the next 1 week. So it surges, it goes up and down. It's not steady because global events affect traffic. Let's take, for instance, if, okay, so at the time of this conversation, America and Iran are in conflict. Let's assume that your blog had a high traffic from America or from the Middle East, and suddenly there's a war in the Middle East. So a lot of people's attention has gone elsewhere. So definitely your traffic will drop. Even if you have a major traffic from America and a war starts there, your traffic may drop because people will be more interested in following war updates. Like, it has even happened on my blog. Before the war between America and Ukraine, sorry, America and Iran, most times America was always the first in the country that has the highest traffic on my blog. But right now, most times America is third or fourth, fifth even. So in the past, they used to be first, second, third, sometimes third, but mostly first. But now they are fourth, fifth. So your traffic goes up and down. It's not stable. So that's why you need to be highly motivated, because on the days that your traffic is low, you need something to keep you going within you. Now, when I talk about discipline, which is the third pairing, remember I said pair knowledge, motivation, and discipline. When we talk about discipline, discipline has to do with your determination to succeed and the application of your principles to succeed, irrespective of what you face. Because the truth is, blogging has severe challenges. Yes. Blogging has severe challenges as long as you're using WordPress, except you want to build your own blog from the scratch through any of the programming languages. Then you may not have much challenges. But WordPress is like your Android phone, your Android operating system on your phone. When you have your Android operating system, then you can install apps on your phone. When you install apps on your phone, from time to time, you have to update the apps. From time to time, some of the apps may log you out. After updating, you have to log in again. So if you're the type that doesn't have your password upstairs, you may run into a problem. You have to do a lot of things to get back into your account. Sometimes you may flash your phone, or something happens, you accidentally delete all your phone numbers. You have to get them back, except if you have them backed up. Or sometimes you change phone, so you have to move all the messages from your WhatsApp or Telegram from one phone to another. And sometimes you may lose up to 50% of your messages. So that's how it is with blogging. WordPress is like your Android operating system. Then you have so many plugins and themes. Your theme is basically the face of your blog, how it looks. And your plugins, you have plugins for almost everything. Even just to share content to social media, you have a plugin for that. And sometimes you have plugins that will conflict with each other. As they conflict, they shut down your site. Or as they conflict, they give a lot of problems. Your site may start displaying some error. Your site will become inaccessible. Sometimes your site can even become inaccessible to you as the admin. So you will go through a very tedious process to restore things back to normal. So blogging has its own challenge. And that's why one of the qualities you need as a blogger is your ability to stay in front of your device, your laptop, your desktop, or your mobile device for long hours. Maybe doing research, reading, writing, or solving problems as a blogger. There are times you may have problems that you will spend days trying to fix. Like sometimes when you move your blog from one host to another, that can give its own headache. I remember once I had to move my blog. I was time constrained, but I had to move that blog, and I went through hell. I nearly lost my blog because the blog was very big as at then. As at then, I had over 80,000 published articles. So blogging is not a child's play thing. It's a serious business, very serious business that you need discipline. You need to have that time, the time to sit down in front of your system and sort out problem. So, but for you to be able to implement this discipline, you have to have the mindset of problem solving. Yes, because once you're into anything IT, you're automatically a problem solver, or you need to have that problem solving skills, because when you have problem solving skills, you solve every problem. But when you don't have the problem solving skills, you will you will fall apart. Now I want to mention something here because a lot of us have this mindset of grace as unmerited favor. Like sometimes you talk about bank automatically or accidentally transferring money to you as a source of wealth, or you're looking for destiny helper. Now, that's not the kind of grace that works in IT. In IT, if you don't know it, you don't know it. There's nothing like grace, there's nothing like destiny helper. In IT, you have to know what you are doing. When you know what you are doing, that is when you can bring a unique kind of grace to what you are doing, because that's only when you can solve problems and you can create solutions because you have knowledge. But if you're ignorant and you're hoping that grace will locate you, it is not an IT, then IT is not for you, because blogging is part of IT. I remember a friend who lost a job simply because he could not open Microsoft Word and save a document. This happened at, I think, around 2010. After graduation, he was looking for a job, and this company was a very good company as of then. The company invited him for it. He had passed the interview. So, but he was going to be working with a computer. So, in fact, he was almost at the point of going. Before somebody now recalled that he'll be working, then the person that said, come, 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 come. Took him to one of the offices and said, open a Microsoft document and save it. Type something and save it in the document. He was looking at them. And that was how he lost that job. A well-paying job that would have transformed his life as at then. So in IT, if you don't know it, you don't know it. There are no two ways about it. If you don't know it, you have to go and learn it. I remember in my early days as a blogger, sometimes when I have some problems, I go online and search for solution, because Google was like my best friend then, because I was always searching and searching and searching. There are certain things you will come across and certain solutions you come across, and they are telling you right there on that page that if you do not know what you are doing, do not attempt this thing. Because if you attempt it on your blog, you can break your blog, you can scatter everything on your blog. So it is meant for developers who know how to program, who know how to write codes. Because codes are so sensitive that if where you are supposed to put is, you put IIS, it will not work. And maybe that IIS you're putting there is an instruction to say scatter this site. So you press the spoil button with your hand. Okay, so please, blogging is knowledge oriented. IT is knowledge oriented. When you talk about grace, yes, when you're doing what you are doing and you're good in it, that is when you can dine and wine with the bigger boys. So if you're looking for funding, people can come to you and say, okay, yes, I like what you're doing, let's fund you. But that is based on the fact that you have achieved extensive results through your knowledge, not through some fictitious grace that will land on you. Because according to the laws of life, or according to the laws of leadership, whatsoever thing you are doing, you will achieve an extraordinary amount of success if you do it right. Blogging is one of them. You blog right, you will get to the top. But if you don't know what you're doing, the sky will not be your it won't be your limit. The floor will be your limit. Okay. So have it in mind that as a blogger, you need to have discipline to solve problems. You need to think with, okay, let me put it this way. There was a time I was doing a research and I came across something that said, as at then, this was maybe 2008 or 9. I came across an article, it was on management that said if you go to IBM then and Google to look for job, there's something they do. They test what they call your intellectual horsepower. That is your ability to create solution within the shortest time frame that you are given. So you need to have a high level intellectual horsepower for you to be able to blog. Because sometimes when things break, sometimes things will break as they will always do. When plugins conflict, and sometimes WordPress updates itself. Is being updated by the WordPress team, just like your Android operating system. Sometimes you upgrade from Android 4 to Android 5 to Android 10 to Android 20 and Android 30, if anything like that exists. Now, when you upgrade, sometimes you remember when you upgrade your operating system, you can lose everything on your phone. So you have to go through that process of. So that's how it works. Okay. Now, lastly, let's talk about the 3 kinds of content that you can post on your blog. Number 1, you have video or audio content, podcasts. You can post podcasts. Then, you can post written content. It depends on you. It depends on what you want. It depends on what you want to achieve. There's no hard and fast rule to any of them. It all falls back or boils down on you. If you prefer video content, you can do video content. If you prefer audio content, there are so many platforms that do podcasting. And if you want to write, fine. If you want to combine writing and video or writing and audio, fair enough. I started with writing articles. Then, when I started doing TikTok videos, somehow I started doing videos as well. But now I've switched back to more of audios than videos. Yeah, because the process of doing videos sometimes could be very clumsy, and the fact that I don't have all the time. I do my videos at my spare time and I change locations a lot. So setting up a mini studio and all that is complex for me. So I just prefer to do my audio, which I can do anytime. And sometimes even if I'm very tired, I can lie down, do an audio and post it. So I do my audio and my writing. So there's no hard and fast rule to it. You choose what you want and you do what you want. Okay? Now, but one thing I want you to understand is that as a blogger, you can be super successful. Overcome that fear. If you have the fear of starting at all, overcome it. Start it by starting it. Overcome your fears by starting the blogging process. Now, the blogging process is a very simple one. It's not complex. As long as you can open up a device and open up a browser and search for something online, you can become a super successful blogger. Rome was not built in a day, yes, but each step that was taken helped to build Rome. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step, and each step taken takes you closer to your destination. So don't see yourself like you're not qualified to blog. There's no certification for you to become a blogger. There's none. All it takes is that you go to your blog and start saying something. Okay? So believe in yourself and work it out because you can be successful. I believe in you. Yes, I believe in you because if you've listened to this conversation up to this point, then there is something great within you that you can share with the world. Okay? So do your best and become the best blogger that you can. Cheers. Good day, guys. You're welcome to part 3 of our bloggers training or our training on how to build websites and blog using WordPress. Today, in this conversation, we're going to talk about the mindset of a successful blogger. Yeah, the mindset of a successful blogger because blogging comes with its own mindset. It's not something you just barge into and um, run it roughshod with any way you like or how you like it. There's a specific set of rules and regulations, or there's a specific mindset that you need to develop as a blogger to become successful. Mainly, this has to do with if you are building your own blog, but also it also applies